Gun Sports Radio is sponsored by Love Radio Network. Welcome to Gun Sports Radio, all about shooting, hunting, self-defense, and more. Now, here are the hosts of Gun Sports Radio, Dave Stahl and Lance Pelkey.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Gun Sports Radio, show number 126. We got Michael Schwartz in the house. Mikey, say hi.
How you doing, Lance?
We're doing terrific. I got to tell you, hopefully it's going to be a happy new year for gun owners, but that's what we'll talk about in the show. Before we get started, I want to thank the Gun Range San Diego, been an advertiser with us from day one. Gun Range San Diego, 7853 Balboa Avenue, right by Convoy. If you're looking to buy a gun, if you need to shoot a gun, they've got an amazing range. It's the place to go. Clean, friendly, super folks. Gun Range San Diego. I have a membership there. Been going there since they opened over 4 years ago, and we hope you will too. That's Gun Range San Diego. You could look them up on the internet. That's thegunrangesandiego.com. Thegunrangesandiego.com. Open 10 to 10. Also, don't forget our good friends at Trident Gunsmithing. So Juan down at Trident Gunsmithing is a magician when it comes to fixing guns. If you got an old gun, you got a new gun, you need to talk to Juan. If you're looking to potentially pick something up, you need to talk to Juan. If you got an AR, you want to get some parts for it, need it adjusted. If you got a lower like I do, need to have it built, expertise, you need to be talking to Juan. So that is TridentGunsmithing.com, TridentGunsmithing.com. You could also find them through our website as well, but make sure and say hello to Juan. So, Mr. Schwartz, we like to support the various clubs and organizations here in San Diego. Who do we have today?
We have a very interesting guest. Today we have Judi Wells. She is a chapter leader here in San Diego for A Girl and a Gun.
Cool.
And they meet monthly and do all kinds of fun stuff. Judi, are you there?
I am.
Hi, Judi. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you for coming on the show today. So you are you bet. You're a chapter leader for A Girl and a Gun. Can you tell everybody a little bit about what A Girl and a Gun is?
Sure. A Girl and a Gun is a national shooting league for women. We have about 160 ranges all over the country and about 6,000 members.
Wow.
And every chapter is run a little differently, but we have ours in San Diego.
Wow. Every chapter is run a little differently. How do you run your chapter? What do you guys do?
Well, we have 2 meetings a month. We have one meeting the second Tuesday of each month from 11 to 1. Called Trigger Time at Discount Gun Mart. That's our host range. And then we have a girls' night out from 6 to 8 the fourth Thursday of each month. And what we do is we do an hour of education in the classroom. So we might talk about ammo or how to clear malfunctions or how to stop the bleed class. We've had several guest speakers. And then after we have the first hour of education, we go into the range.
That's awesome. I didn't realize you guys did a. Now I came in and spoke at one of your day meetings. I didn't realize you guys were doing a night meeting as well. So you guys meet twice a month. That's very cool.
We do. We have about 45 active members and about 60 to 70 paid members last time I checked.
Wow.
So we have a pretty active chapter.
And you run the chapter there. What's your background? How did you get involved in A Girl and a Gun?
Oh, well, long story short, I was an anti-gunner for my entire life until my husband told me that learning how to shoot and having a gun in our home was on his bucket list. So after we had the, oh, no, you're not, having a gun in the house discussion.
Awesome.
And he went and got one. I decided that, I was convinced that the gun was going to jump out of the safe and shoot me. So I thought I'd better go to the range and figure out how to do this and what this is all about. And here we are years later, and I'm a competitor, and I run the chapter, and it's pretty much my passion, teaching women how to shoot and everything about firearms.
And Judi,
so that's my story.
And speaking of that, how many new shooters do you get every month, give or take?
At a Girl and a Gun, I would say at each meeting, we have 3. At my last meeting in November, we had 5 new shooters.
Okay.
Which is a lot because we have 15 or 20 women at the meeting.
Yeah.
But the good thing is that a Girl and a Gun is about camaraderie and encouragement and support. So when new shooters show up, everybody's really excited to teach them range safety and show them their firearms, and it's kind of a party, a gun party.
It's kind of a party. I like that. It sounds like a party. That's really cool. You went from anti-gun to now an instructor. I mean, that's an amazing story. That's an amazing transformation. Now, tell everybody, if somebody's listening now and they want to, come to a meeting, how does it work? Do you have to be a member? Does it cost, or what do you recommend people do?
So for my chapter only, so this wouldn't be held true. This isn't for every chapter. For my chapter, you can reach us through Facebook, A Girl and a Gun San Diego, or you can go to Discount Gun Mart on Marina, and they'll give you, or Santee, they'll give you the information. You show up to a meeting. We charge $2 for a meeting and $10 if you're not a member at the range. And then we hope that you become a member of A Girl and a Gun, because we have amazing perks and a national conference where you can shoot from a helicopter and do really cool stuff.
Wow.
But this one, I know, it's pretty mind-blowing.
Have you done that? Have you shot from a helicopter?
I have twice.
Wow.
It's pretty phenomenal. It's adrenaline rush like nothing. You go up in the helicopter at conference, and they give you an AR, and you have probably 8 to 10 steel targets on the ground, and they circle you around, and you shoot at the steel targets on the ground as you're hanging out the helicopter.
Wow. How do I become a member?
We got to do this at San Diego County Gun Owners, Mike.
Yeah, really. We got to get that going. That's very cool.
That's awesome.
The organization has such amazing things to offer. That's why the membership is $50 a year. But in exchange, you get all kinds of things, all kinds of perks. And like I said, the camaraderie. I have friends all over the country that I've shot with. And I just got back from our event called Fall Fest, which is a national 3-gun match in Kentucky. And that was run by A Girl and a Gun. So it's pretty amazing.
3-gun is a competition where you use three different types of platforms, typically, right?
Right, rifle, pistol, and shotgun.
Nice. That's very cool. And it sounds like whether you've never touched a gun before or whether you're a seasoned veteran, it's more about the camaraderie and the fun and nobody. It sounds like nobody has to be intimidated. That you're welcome to any woman that wants to come out and have fun. It sounds like you guys are open arms.
We are. We have members from 13 to 78, and 13 years old to 78 years old, every single possible. Never touched a firearm till they walk into a meeting, to competitors that search me out, law enforcement that find our chapter and come join us to have fun.
Yep.
Well, Judi, that's very, very cool. So how do people tell people how to find you if they want more information?
So Facebook, San Diego, A Girl and a Gun San Diego. You can reach out. Am I allowed to give my business number or email?
Sure. Anything you like.
So my email is agirlandagunsd, as in San Diego, @gmail.com. Phone number is 619-629-3344. Or you can find us through the national chapter website at agirlandagun.org.
Well, Judi, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate everything you do. Thank you.
A lot of fun, Judi. A lot of fun. Thanks for calling in. Well, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget you could tune in to Gun Sports Radio here on AM 1170 The Answer or FM 96.1 for the North County. Stay tuned. We've got your favorite lawyer coming up. That's John Dillon right after the break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Gun Sports Radio. We got Michael Schwartz in the house. And don't forget to tell your friends to listen to us in the North County 96.1 The Answer or AM 1170. Also, too, you could download the app at gunsportsradio.com. Look for our Facebook, Gun Sports Radio. We're also on the Instagram as well. Make sure and tell your friends. Speaking of friends, how can you make your AR rifle legal and keep all the features? If you want your AR to still maintain to have the pistol grip, telescoping stock, foregrip, and still have the detachable magazine, check out our friends at Cali Key. Whether you're buying a new AR or need to make your current AR compliant or your AR collection compliant, Cali Key is the cost-effective, easy solution that will allow your AR to stay compliant and future-proof your AR from those terrible California gun laws. Right, Mike?
That's right. I'm going to post a video of my Cali Key by the end of the week.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right. So keep your entire collection alive with Cali Key, a very affordable solution. And check out Cali Key on their website. It's KALI, pretty snazzy, KALIKEY.com. That's KALIKEY.com, Cali Key. Also, with all these, CCWs that are happening now in San Diego County.
Yep.
Yeah, man. What are you going to do? So, if you carry a taser or pepper spray or just keep a baseball bat in your house if you have an incident, and, what are you going to do to cope with the legal and pay for the lawyer? So talk to our good friends at Firearms Legal Protection. So once you do your scoping out of your CCW, you should have some kind of legal plan as well. And so Mike has Firearms Legal Protection, so does Dave, and so does Lance. And if an incident does come up, you've got the good folks to call there. So for less than $10 a month, you'll have the peace of mind knowing you've got a 24-hour hotline and legal representation waiting for you. That's firearmslegalprotection.com, firearmslegal.com, or you could give them a call. If you're into calling on the phone, it's a 469 area code, 310-9100, firearmslegal.com. And speaking of legal, and since here it is, we're coming up on the new year, 2019, we couldn't do it with our good friend, that's John Dillon, and he's with the law firm of Gatsky, Dillon, and Balance, LLP. So if you need a lawyer, advise a lawyer. If you got questions on your collection, if you're receiving something from somebody and don't know what the laws are, or you moved in from the state, give our good friend John Dillon a call. You could reach him on the phone at 760 area code 431-9501, or the website that's cafirearmslaw.com, cafirearmslaw.com. That's our good buddy Johnny, and I think we got John on the line.
How's it going, fellas?
Fabulous. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from home today. I'm jumping back and forth between chasing kids and trying to write appellate briefs, but it's working out so far.
Oh, we appreciate you taking the time to be on the show with all the changes coming up. And what if somebody reports themselves to like a mental institution a couple of times and they get a lifetime gun ban in California? Is that true?
Yeah, that's a proposed law that's going through the legislation right now.
Okay.
There's all sorts of new laws being proposed, and just a quick note on all that, we have a very left liberal-leaning representative in this state, and they have seen that we're going to have a governor who's probably more leftist and anti-gun than all of them put together. So they're seeing easy avenues to pass wholly ridiculous and unconstitutional laws because they know the upcoming governor will sign it. So get ready for some real bad stuff. But that's just in general. It's something that if you own a gun, you're in a state now where you can't just own a gun. You have to own a gun, and be vigilant about updating yourself on all the laws that are passing.
It's true.
New laws are coming every couple months.
Yeah.
And I tell you, people call me because they get in trouble, they get arrested, and they get thrown in jail for technicalities and accidents where they had no idea they were even doing anything wrong.
Yeah, we talk about also too how someone might have something in their safe, and then there's a medical emergency. 20 years later, the first responders come in and say, "Are there any firearms in the house?" Someone says yes. Next thing you know, the poor victim wakes up from their illness, whatever the case may be, and they may now have a felony and didn't know it.
Exactly. There's other instances where if someone dies in the family and they leave guns and they didn't kind of tell anyone about the firearms that they had, that leaves your relatives open for, some serious repercussions if they don't know what to do with them or they don't know what's legal, what's not. And so it's time to really pay attention. Being ignorant will not save you. That's just the truth.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you coming on and enlightening us, and you're right, the days days are gone.
Yeah, well, speaking of just ridiculous laws, I was going to go over the upcoming ammunition regulations that are coming off of the passing of Proposition 63, and remember, this is Gavin Newsom, our future governor's little baby that he got passed in this state. But essentially, and just so people can reference this stuff, it's under the California Penal Code 30370, and you can read all the regulations yourself there. But beginning July 1st, 2019, so 6 months from now, although we will not have to get ammunition licensing or ammunition purchase permits, we will start having to undergo a background check for every time you want to purchase ammunition.
Jeez.
And that's kind of the big crux of it. There's a lot of details involved.
Right.
Namely, you're going to have to be 21 years old to buy any type of handgun ammunition, 18 years old minimum to buy rifle and shotgun ammunition. Now, how that will play with this newest law prohibiting adults from 18 to 20 years old from owning, possessing, or from purchasing rifles and shotguns, I don't know yet. It's unknown, but there's going to be an issue there. But essentially, so every time you go in to purchase ammunition, no matter if you want to buy one bullet or 1,000, you're going to have to go through what the DOJ is calling an eligibility check, which is essentially a mini Jaros. And it's going to cost $1 to do it. But essentially, it'll be an electronic background check, which will cross-reference your name and current information, like your address, driver's license, with the Department of Justice Automated Firearm System, or the DOJ AFS system. And it'll match up with the guns that you have registered to your name in this state. And it'll also check to see if you have any prohibited issues like felonies or prohibiting misdemeanors on your record. And if you don't have any of those prohibiting categories like felony and the ammunition you're purchasing matches up with, a firearm that you would be that's registered to your name.
That's a very good point, because if you don't have a firearm registered in your name, you might have a firearm registered in Arizona, but if you don't have one registered in California, you can't buy.
So exactly, I'm going to get into that. So if everything matches up, then you'll pass your background check and you can buy ammunition. The DOJ is saying it's going to take anywhere from 60 to 90 seconds. It's laughable to me. The DOJ never does anything as they say they will. So we'll see how well this system works when they implement it. But judging from their CFAR's online system and the problems they had with that, it's going to be longer than 90 seconds. So now you brought this up. Let's say if the guns you purchased and you own them legally were never registered because when you purchased them, registration wasn't required.
Mm-hmm.
You won't pass this background check. So you're going to have to do one of two things. Either, let's say you don't have a registered firearm to your name, you're going to need to do a one-time eligibility check for $19, and in that instance, they'll do a separate check, I guess. It's kind of unclear exactly the differences in that, but it'll be $19 to do this check, and if you're cleared, then you're okay. Or you're going to need to go and actually register your firearm, so first you got to register your firearm in order to purchase the ammunition. So you have those two options if you don't have guns registered in your name. So essentially, we're looking at a registration scheme again. A lot of the stuff that California's passed when it comes to the quote-unquote ghost guns and home-built firearms, everything recently has been all about registration. And this is just another way California's trying to force people to register lawfully owned firearms that, previously didn't need to be registered.
Yeah.
Now, again, if you're buying ammo, and let's say when you originally purchased a gun, 4 years ago, and it was registered your name, it was under an old address. If your information hasn't updated since you moved to a new address in the AFS system, and you try to do a background check, if that doesn't match up to your current address, you'll be denied. So then, again, you'll have to do that one-time eligibility check, or you'll have to go on to the CFAR's website and update your information. And apparently, DOJ is going to be providing an avenue to do that. Like I said, we'll see how well that goes.
Yeah.
So that's a quick and dirty kind of summary of what's going to be going on. But this is going to complicate things. It's going to be a hassle. There's so many unknowns right now.
Yep.
With how it's going to be done.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you calling in. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have questions, make sure and give John Dillon a call. That's the law firm of Gatsky, Dillon, and Balance, cafirearmslaw.com, cafirearmslaw.com. Phone number 760-431-9501. We appreciate you, John, and Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year, guys.
All right, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Gun Sports Radio. We're going to be talking to Casey Heckeroth from Gun Range San Diego right after the break. Sports Radio. You could listen to us on the FM dial 96.1 for the North County, or the old standby AM 1170 on your AM dial. Don't forget, you could also listen to us on the app at gunsportsradio.com. We appreciate your support. Speaking of that, we dearly appreciate the support of Michael Schwartz and San Diego County gun owners, his time, his efforts in the last 3.5-4 years now, and just all of us working together. We heard John Dillon talk about the punitive gun laws, and so tell your friends about the show, tell your friends about our advertisers, and we do appreciate it. Speaking of that, don't forget our good friends at Trident Gunsmithing. Those guys are your connection for gun repairs, upgrades, and more. Again, if you need your AR looked at, you want to get some ideas, you have some questions on scopes, you've got a gun that needs repair, don't forget to talk to the good guys at Juan and such down at Trident Gunsmithing. You could find them on the website, tridentgunsmithing.com. That's tridentgunsmithing.com. I know when I've got questions on how to do a lower build or whatever the case may be, those guys have done an amazing job. They also do the Cerakoting as well. So that's Trident Gunsmithing. Also, our good friends at Cali Key. So how do you keep and make your AR rifle legal and keep all those wonderful features? So if you want your AR to still have the pistol grip and that nice telescoping stock, the foregrip, and still have the detachable magazine, again, check out Cali Key. Whether you're buying a new AR or need to make your current AR or your collection compliant, Cali Key is a cost-effective, easy solution that will allow you to keep your AR compliant and what we call future-proof your AR from all those nasty, horrible California gun laws. Keep your entire AR collection intact at a price you could afford with Cali Key. So check out Cali Key at calikey.com. That's KALIKEY.com. Now, we've got our good friends over at the Gun Range San Diego. They've been a sponsor for quite some time. They are what we call our segment sponsor for this segment. And we've got Casey Heckeroth, who is an amazing sage when it comes to these things. And we're fortunate to have him call in and, give us some good information. And I want to make sure you go down and visit him one of these days. So, hey, Casey, we got you on the line, brother.
Howdy, howdy.
There he is. So how's the big line over there? What's going on a Sunday afternoon at Gun Range San Diego?
Busy. Busy. Yeah, everybody got their new toys after Christmas, so honestly the past few days have been a zoo in here.
That's fabulous.
I'm not complaining. It's just, it has been so many people, and it comes in waves. It'll be 30 people in the lobby, then 0, and then 20 minutes later, 50 people in the lobby. So we're keeping busy.
Yeah, that's terrific.
Around here.
Yeah, and then, also, too, we remind people that, don't forget to go to the Gun Range San Diego, especially on, Monday and Tuesdays when it's a little bit slower. You get some great deals and, more range time. It's fabulous.
Yep.
So
absolutely. Mondays, $10 off rentals. Tuesday evenings, it's $5 per person. So
yeah.
Yeah, it gets pretty busy those nights, but not too bad.
Yeah, good advice, too. And also, too, we love having Casey on because he's got all these neat technical tips. And so this is kind of his segment for that. So, Casey, what do you got for us today?
So today we got muzzle discipline. The last few weeks I've been talking about trigger control and more technical things, but this is just something that a lot of us slip our mind, and it's, knowing which way your muzzle's pointing at all times. A lot of times we slip our minds, we're done shooting, we'll put our gun on the bench. Well, we just kind of sit there and leave it, but we don't realize that it's pointing at the next person to the left of us or to the right of us.
Yeah.
And it comes down to that old, you just got to be cautious of that because things happen. There's no accidents at gun range. There's always negligence. So as long as people keep the muzzle pointing down range, there shouldn't be any issues in case something does happen and a round does go off. At least it's going in a safe direction.
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head when you said, no accidents, just, yeah.
It's always negligence. It happened the other day. Somebody had a loaded gun on the table, and luckily it was pointing down range. And they went to pick it up. They put their finger right on the trigger, and boom, sent around down range right from the counter. So it's, things happen because we get complacent. We think we know what we're doing, and unless you're practicing it every day and just, keeping it as a habit, we make mistakes. So that's when it comes into that effect of always keeping it downrange, just in that terrible case that something could happen. At least nobody's going to get hurt. You might get yelled at by one of us, but nobody's going to get hurt.
And and it happens. I mean, with so many people, going through the range all the time, I mean, you're going to see everything. You're just trying to, minimize that obviously as much as you can. You don't want to be that guy,
Right.
That's just horrible. And it also goes at home too, or taking the gun out of the car or if you got a CCW, whatever the case may be, just constantly being vigilant.
And it also goes into effect, when you're like unloading your firearms in the range, We have it set for a certain reason. We have the rules in place there so that you take the guns in the case up to the booth, take them out up there, so that way we have the ballistic glass on both sides, and you're kind of in a little protected area. Because the thing that makes us the most, nervous is when you're facing downrange and somebody's messing with the gun behind you. That's why we have these reasons, because people will be behind the line unloading their guns and turn around, flag the entire range,
Sure.
We don't know that gun's unloaded. Maybe you do. But it makes everybody unnerving. I mean, I don't like guns pointed at me. Sorry, call me crazy, but it's just we have these rules in effect for that exact reason. And it's not just for that. It's also knowing what lies beyond your targets when you're shooting down range. Because what a lot of times is when people bring their targets in, 3 or 5 yards, and they have their target up high, yes, they're having good impacts on the cardboard and the target, but what they're not realizing is they're, shorter in stature or they're aiming at the tall target. The rounds are going to be going in that direct path, and so they'll be hitting the ceiling at like the 15-yard line.
Oh, my.
So I'm always out there telling people, it's like, hey, you need to understand what's going on behind your target, too. It's not just, okay, good, I got impact on paper, but when you look past it, you're like, I'm shooting the ceiling for 10 yards down past that. Maybe I should, put my target a little bit lower to avoid that. So there's a lot of things in there, but it's just, as I said earlier, complacency kills. We get into this habit, we get in this, okay, I'm doing okay, I'm not shooting anything, and then you take a step back, you're like, maybe I should pay more attention to this so that things don't happen in that way.
That's a good point. We just, changing gears a little bit, we just had John Dillon, talking about the gun laws that are coming up and the ammo changes and stuff like that. So if someone is just going to your range and renting a gun there and then purchasing ammo from you guys starting July 1st, how's that going to work? Are they going to need to do a background check just to buy ammo from you to shoot at the range?
Yeah, we haven't had any guidance from the DOJ yet, as far as my knowledge, so we're still waiting for that. But, what's coming in on the 21st is you got to be 21 to buy rifles and ammo at that point.
Yeah.
So that is going to affect us on the range because it used to be, 18, you could shoot rifles and shotguns, buy all the ammo, you're good. Well, now we can't.
Yeah.
So it is going to affect us. So, we don't have too many 18, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds coming in, but we do have them.
Yeah.
And, it's going to suck that we're going to have to turn them away. But, in accordance with the law, it's just what we have to do.
Also, Mike and I were talking about, there's also, don't you have to put like a sign or something, that says, we have to, some disclaimer?
Have to put a sign, age limits, people, if you're not under this age or, 18-year-olds. There's going to be a lot of legislation that comes into it, and now we're just going to try and tackle it the best way we can, as quick as we can. And I'm just asking everybody to please be patient with us. These gun laws are not our choice here at the gun range. Please don't get mad at us for it.
Right. Well,
so the law says that people under 21 can't handle a firearm on a range?
So we've been looking into it. It's not necessarily that they can't handle a firearm. It's just they won't be able to purchase ammo.
Oh.
When they become 21, because that's how it is here. You can buy, you can get a 9mm rifle because it's a rifle, but you're not 21 because it's still a pistol cartridge. So there's that gray area where the DOJ is like, we're not sure about that. So it affects us in that way. Gotcha. So we're still waiting for guidance from the DOJ because, here being on rental range is a little bit different, but we're trying to keep track of it as best we can because, we don't want to get hemmed up for it.
Yeah, well, and, that's why we do the show to try and, keep us all as current as possible from all these different sources and have John on and you guys, that's terrific. It kind of reminds me, that sign reminds me of, in California, what is that proposition or, the 95 warning or something, everywhere you go, everything's cancerous where, it's like,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, how useful is that?
Yeah, we had to put up signs, you're entering an area that, going to be exposed to lead and contaminants and stuff. I'm like, well, yes, that's good and dandy, but you have to think of everything else in our world that is some sort of chemical or exposure to something, So I can understand, lead getting burned in the range and the gases and whatnot. That's why we have our ventilation system. But, we have so many warnings on everything. It's just kind of, life just needs a big warning. Hey, life's dangerous.
Well,
I should be able to cover everything,
If there's one thing that cancer and criminals hate, it's a sign. So.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, another sign, that's for sure. So what else is happening? What's hot? What's selling down there? What are you guys doing?
Oh, gosh. ARs are still going pretty good. We're ordering a lot of Springfields in, which is always good. CZ is probably one of our top sellers. And then Springfield is coming out with so with the Springfield XD, they have the Gear Up program where if you buy a Springfield XD, they'll mail you 3 mags and a bag. Well, starting, I believe it was January 31st, Springfield's Gear Up is going to be with M1As. So when you buy an M1A, you submit your serial number to Springfield, and they're going to mail you 2 mags and a Springfield scope mount.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So Springfield's really stepping up their game on that. Right now we're doing kind of a little Western theme because, how the video games are going off. So we got a bunch of single actions in. We got some really nice lever actions. So we're having fun with it. We're trying to keep as much as we can in for everybody because it just comes in waves. 1 month will be ARs, 1 month will be, Glocks, and now we're on single actions because video games kind of direct that for us, which we're not complaining about.
Yeah, and Mike and I were talking to the break about, this is show number 126, and since the first show, we've been reminding people, go out and buy ammo now. Go up, and we still tell people, here it is, it's almost January 1st, the ban is coming, and so we call it the ban, but we say you need to go out and just buy more. So, go down to Gun Range San Diego, and I know, people could, buy all kinds of stuff from you guys.
Yep, we keep as much ammo. Like right now, our 9mm, we're waiting for our new shipment to come in. But as fast as we get it in, it's going out. So we have like 2 or 3 shipments a week of just 9mm alone because everybody's trying to buy it before this. So
what's a case of 9mm going for?
It was like 2013 when they were talking about banning all semi-auto rifles in California, and everybody went out and bought one. I mean, I bought one too. And that's kind of how it is right now. Is we're just trying to dodge all this legislation that is only criminalizing the law-abiding people.
I mean, we keep saying that, but it's just so true. I mean, here we are, just law-abiding people. We're the most law-abiding people like out there, and they just keep trying to turn us into criminals, and that's basically what's happening.
Exactly.
That's
exactly what happened. With the assault weapon registry that went on, you basically criminalized the entire state of California, just like that. And it's like these laws. I mean, they just came out with who was I think it was Harvard, one of these other companies that came out, and they've been doing a study, and they're showing, hey, these background checks literally have no effect on
all
the
kinds
crime
of articles. You got it, man. All right, well, listen, we gotta let you go back on your merry way. Help all those nice customers at Gun Range San Diego. So we appreciate you calling in. Ladies and gentlemen, you go say hi to Casey when you get a chance. I think he works the afternoon. The website is thegunrangesandiego.com. That's thegunrangesandiego.com. You're listening to Gun Sports Radio, 96.1 on the FM, 1170 on the AM. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back. You're listening to Gun Sports Radio. We've got Michael Schwartz in the house today, San Diego County gun owners. Don't forget, for the North County listeners, you can hear us on FM 96.1 or AM 1170 on the AM dial.
The Answer.
Yeah, I love that. And also, too, if you're looking for some more information on how to join San Diego County gun owners, Mikey, give them the website.
SanDiegoCountyGunOwners.com. SanDiegoCountyGunOwners.com.
And we can't emphasize that enough. You're hearing all the gun laws and all the changes, and the best thing we all could do is stick together. And that's another reason why we do the show. We encourage you to join San Diego County gun owners. Stick with us and help all this thing move forward. Speaking of us, so do you or any of your family own or keep a taser, pepper spray, baseball bat, firearm, or other weapon for personal protection? So have you or are you going to get a CCW? If you're involved in an incident, what is your plan to pay for the bail and the expensive lawyer costs? Talk to the good folks at Firearms Legal Protection. For less than $10 a month, you'll have the peace of mind knowing a 24-hour hotline and legal representation is waiting for you and your family. That's Firearms Legal Protection at firearmslegal.com, firearmslegal.com. You could also call them at 844-357-9400. Tell them you heard about it on Gun Sports Radio. And, it's just something that we all need if we're going to be carrying, that's for sure. This is one of our favorite subjects coming up, the Stump the Nephew.
Stump my nephew, Sam the man.
Sam the gunman and Stump my nephew. Uncle Sam, are you there?
Good. I'm right here.
How's that weather back in Virginia?
It's getting pretty cold, but it's not bad.
Gotcha. Good. All right. Well, you get out your bolt action or whatever the case may be and have a good time during the day, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
I like it. Well, I think Mikey's got a question for you.
All right, Sam, here's what we're doing. I actually, I'm pulling an audible. Somebody sent in a question, and I'm honestly not quite sure the answer. So we're flying without a net here. I want to see how much you know on this subject, but I think you're gonna knock it out of the park. So Esther, it's not what I'm saying is it's not a traditional question. You'll see. Okay. Esther from Oceanside wrote in and she asks, is caseless ammunition real and being used right now? Is caseless ammunition real and being used right now? So first, can you tell everybody what caseless ammunition is?
Yes, I can. In fact, earlier today I was talking about that with my mom. Caseless ammunition in traditional ammunition, as hopefully everyone listening to this show knows, you've got a case usually made of brass, sometimes steel or some other metal, but usually brass. And you've got in the bottom a primer, and within the case you have gunpowder of whatever type of powder you're using. And then you have a bullet crimped into the end. There are other types of cases, but that's the most common type of firearm ammunition. Caseless ammunition,
a brass case, the shell that people pick up off the ground after they're done shooting. Typically, it's brass, sometimes steel.
Caseless ammunition is just a block of solid propellant. It's all just one solid piece instead of loose gunpowder or sticks of extruded gunpowder or whatever. It's a solid piece of propellant with priming compound embedded in it, and also embedded in it is the projectile. And so, yes, it is absolutely a real thing. It's been in development for a long time now. They were working on it back in the Cold War. But it's not really in common use because there are a lot of technical problems with it.
So just to recap, so this is if you were to buy ammunition, it would actually not have brass. It would just be like a solid gunpowder with a spark, primer in the back there. Yeah. So when you fire it, Sam, it works just like you strike it. Something strikes the primer. It ignites the propellant, and then there's no casing left over. It all burns up. Is that the idea? That's correct. So just the bullet comes out of the end of the barrel, and then there's nothing to eject. So there's no brass on the ground. Right? Am I explaining this correctly? Yep, that's exactly how it works. And I think H&K was doing a lot of work on G11. Really an interesting firearm mechanically, not just because of how it handles caseless ammunition and how it responds to the very different set of requirements imposed by caseless ammunition over conventional cased ammunition. But it's also just really mechanically interesting in its own right. I would strongly encourage everyone to go look up the H&K G11 and just take a look at the internals, because it's really, it's literally a clockwork rifle. So it sounds like you were just talking about it and you were just looking into it. Is this something that's, I know they've been working on this for like a generation, 30 years, wow. But is this something that is on the horizon? Do you think this will ever be commercial, or where are they at in development that you know of? Like I said, there are a lot of technical problems with it. There's the issue of how to feed and how to extract if there's a misfire, but mostly how to feed because it doesn't have a rim. There are also issues of heating because this is something a lot of people don't think about, but the physical case that's ejected out of a firearm takes a lot of the heat from the chamber out of the gun. With caseless ammunition, you don't have that, so you get a lot of heating issues, and there's also nothing to insulate the propellant, so it's very, very prone to cook-off. Also, it's very fragile. The case can't protect it, so you face those same problems as they did back before fixed ammunition, like in the Revolutionary War and so forth, where you really had to be careful about keeping your powder dry because it was great at absorbing water and not great at working once it did. That's interesting. So you think we're probably closer to lasers than we are caseless ammo? I really don't know. I hope so. I love laser guns. Yeah, lasers are pretty cool. There's been a lot of advances in laser technology, but I don't think that's going to be that is not going to be deployed as an infantry weapon anytime soon, just like caseless ammunition. But the Army is actually working on this polymer-cased telescoped ammunition, where the bullet is like nested inside the case, and the case is just basically a plastic tube. And that actually promises to save a lot of weight, and they've been doing tests, and they have some trials guns. They've got a light machine gun and a rifle that they're testing this cased telescoped ammunition in. And not only is the ammunition a lot lighter, but because they can use different operating mechanisms, because the ammunition is different, it doesn't have a rim, and you don't have to worry about the bullet sticking out the front and all that stuff. The weapon can be a little bit lighter as well, and that whole weapon ammunition system promises to save a huge amount of weight because
like mostly for machine gunners because they carry a lot of belted ammunition, and like an M249 or an M240 or whatever, those are really
brass
heavy.
Is super heavy. And that was kind of the point of caseless ammunition, is they were hoping for reliability improvement, but it was mostly had to do with weight. They could carry.
Yeah, saving weight is really important. The American infantryman carries a heavier combat load than virtually any other standard soldier throughout history. Like even medieval knights, unless they were wearing really heavy armor, which they generally weren't, unless they were jousting, normal battle armor weighed about 60 to 80 pounds. The U.S. infantryman carries on his back upwards of 100 pounds.
Wow.
So anything we can do to make that a little bit lighten their load is something we look at.
I mean, how do you fight with a 100-pound thing on your back? I mean, that's brutal.
Effectively.
Yeah, effectively. I mean, hey, I'll go jump in that foxhole. I don't think so. Yeah. You
either make the ammo lighter or you figure out some way to leave some of that stuff behind or whatever. It's not like all their kit is like really heavy stuff that can be lightened. There's only incremental improvements that can be made other than with regards to the ammunition and the weapon. But it's the point has been made that the U.S. soldier or Marine is carrying 100 pounds of the lightest equipment available.
Yeah, there you go. That's the way to put this.
Well, Sam, you knocked it out of the park. I think that you effectively and thoroughly answered the question on caseless ammo. I thought it was an interesting question. Like I said, it wasn't exactly a traditional trivia question, but you did a great job. Fantastic work, as always, and I really appreciate it, Sam. Good work.
Thanks for having me on.
I think you did a great job this year, and we look forward to having you on next year, my friend. Stay warm.
Thanks.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So it's almost the new year.
Here he is.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
126 shows. San Diego County Gun Owners going into our 4th year.
Wow.
And look at all the great stuff we're doing and all the great content and the fantastic community that we're bringing together.
And speaking of that, so we got Gun Prom coming up.
Absolutely, Gun Prom coming up. We're going to announce that, but I'll just let the listeners in on a little secret ahead of time. It's May the 4th.
Mark your calendars.
May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. It's on Star Wars Day this year.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't been, it's a lot of fun. If you had been, you know it's a lot of fun. So make sure and mark your calendars for San Diego County Gun Owners Gun Prom. It's a great group of people, and it's just a super event. And so I know what Gun Sports Radio is a sponsor, and
Gun Sports Radio already jumped in and is sponsoring a table, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no, we appreciate what you do and what you've done. So speaking of that, that's Mike's website, SanDiegoCountyGunOwners.com. Don't forget our good friends, the GunRangeSanDiego.com. John Dillon over at CAFirearmsLaw.com. Our other good friends, FirearmsLegal.com. We couldn't do it also with TridentGunsmithing.com and the good folks at CaliKey.com. I know I like mine. So don't forget our website, gunsportsradio.com. If you have questions, you could type it into info@gunsportsradio.com. We love having Laura Schwartz here, too. Michael, thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Board Ops. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next year. Gun Sports Radio, we are out.
Happy New Year.
Gun Sports Radio is sponsored by Love Radio Network.